When you take into account the way in which Emily's remains were recovered and found, how does that impact your investigation?
It doesn't change how we investigate. It is definitely, in this particular case, I would use the description of a special kind of evil.
Welcome or welcome back, and thanks for being here. I'm Cassie, and this is A Wicked World. If you haven't checked out A Wicked World on Patreon yet and want to have access to over 50 exclusive videos with new ones being added each month, then make sure you do that using the link in the description box below. Now, the story I have for you today is one that several of you have requested that I cover, and it's an absolutely horrific one that happened a little over a month ago. But no one has been arrested in connection with this young girl's brutal murder, and there have been no suspects named yet either. This is the story of Emily Pike. Emily Pike was born on May 16, 2010, to her mother, Stephanie Docella. She was a member of the San Carlos Apache tribe in Arizona, and she also had 3 siblings. Emily was a bright and creative teenager who loved art so much that she often spent hours painting and drawing. She was described as a very happy and kind person who wanted to go to college to pursue her passion in either art or veterinary medicine. Emily loved the color pink and loved anything colorful and sparkly. She also loved K-pop music, Roblox, and animals, especially cats. But all of that would be taken away from Emily in January of 2025. On the evening of January 27th, she would go missing from a group home where she was staying in Mesa, Arizona. Now, it's not known exactly why Emily was staying in this group home, but it's said that she was struggling with her mental health and was able to receive the resources that she needed there. So the teenager had last been seen on January 27th around 7:45 p.m., walking away from her group home near Mesa Drive and McKillops Road in Mesa. Even though the group home has not officially been named publicly, you can easily find online that it is called Sylvia's Group Home. And at this point, they are listed as permanently closed with a 1.4-star review on Google. Emily had last been seen wearing a pink and gray t-shirt and leaving on foot in the dark. Her roommate would say that she believed Emily was going to meet up with a boy whom she had met while taking guitar lessons. Apparently, Emily had left the group home that night while there was a church group there conducting activities, so everyone was distracted. Now, this wasn't the first time that Emily had run away from her group home. In fact, she had done so about 5 times prior and been reported as missing. As such, police assumed this time it was the same situation, and she would return again on her own later. So it wasn't until Emily had already been missing for a few days that the Mesa police put out a notice that the 14-year-old was nowhere to be found. Emily's own family and mother, who lived approximately 125 miles away from the group home where she was staying, weren't notified until after the teen had been missing for a week. At that point, her mother and relatives were terrified for Emily's safety because they knew she would not just disappear without contacting any of her loved ones. Now, Arizona's Department of Child Safety requires notification that a child is missing to occur within 1 day of receiving that information. However, this requirement does not extend to tribal social services. And Emily was currently in the custody of the San Carlos Apache Tribe Social Services. So, the search for Emily continued. Then, on Valentine's Day of 2025, authorities would discover human remains that had been stuffed into garbage bags off of U.S. Highway 60, about 19 miles north of the town of Globe, which was close to the San Carlos Apache reservation lands where Emily's family lived. This was about 80 miles away from where Emily had last been seen. A few days later, investigators would confirm that the body parts did indeed belong to 14-year-old Emily Pike. Now, not all of Emily's body parts had been found. Her head and torso had been found in one trash bag, while her legs were in the other. However, her hands and arms have not yet been recovered. An autopsy revealed that the young girl had suffered severe trauma to her face and head, though her exact cause of death has not yet been determined. The thing about Emily being dismembered too is that in Apache culture, they believe that the body should remain intact after death for a peaceful transition into the afterlife. If a body is dismembered, it could signify spiritual disruption, dishonor, or an inability for the spirit to find rest. Was this done to Emily intentionally for that reason? Even though Emily's death was officially confirmed to be a homicide, law enforcement officials have yet to name any suspects or make any arrests in connection with her murder. Though police have publicly said that they are currently speaking to 3 people whom they consider to be persons of interest and or suspects. No names have yet been released, though. Emily's former roommate at the group home, who's called Chelsea to protect her identity, said that Emily had lived there 2 separate times. Chelsea also said that based on where Emily's remains had been found off of US 60, she believes that Emily was trying to hitchhike home to see her family on the reservation when she ran into the wrong person. Chelsea said that she had been in the home herself for 4 years and had seen plenty of children run away. According to the Mesa Police Department, this group home had 30 different missing children over the last 3 years. However, there's been some confusion around this number because it's been reported 2 different ways. It's unclear if that's 30 separate children who have gone missing, or if that's just 30 separate reports, with 5 of them being in regards to Emily over the last few years. However, it was just announced that the Arizona Department of Child Safety has opened a licensing inquiry into the group home. Emily's family is very upset as they wonder how anyone could do this to a child and why. They additionally feel let down by the system that was intended to protect Emily. The fact that she was in a group home and managed to walk away unsupervised in the middle of the night raises some questions. Her mother, Steph, has pointed out that those caring for vulnerable teens like Emily need to be more vigilant. She entrusted her daughter's care to others, only to find out too late that her daughter had disappeared. Emily's mother has vowed to fight for justice for her daughter. Speaking directly to Emily, she said, "You'll never be forgotten. I love you. Until we meet again, rest in peace."
She has family here in Colorado. Her 2 aunts say their niece had her whole future ahead of her before it was stripped away.
She just liked to laugh, smile, quiet, very, Emily was her own person. And she was very sweet, kind-hearted, just like any other 10, 11, 12, 13, 14-year-old. She's very, a girl, basically.
We want justice for Emily, and what happened to her, justice needs to be served. Nothing like this should ever happen to anybody. And there's so many more of our relatives in our native country that still need justice as well.
The San Carlos Apache tribe, which Emily belonged to, is also in mourning. Many tribal members and local residents have joined together to not only support Emily's family, but demand justice on her behalf. Emily's case has also drawn attention across social media, with many calling for greater urgency from law enforcement. They want to make sure that Emily's case receives the attention that it deserves, and are urging for better communication and coordination between agencies when Indigenous children are reported as missing. Photos of people started popping up, showing them with their mouths covered with a red handprint that has become emblematic of the movement to end the violence against Native American women. These posts include the hashtags, #NoMoreStolenSisters, #SayHerName, and #JusticeForEmily.
She needs her face to be out there. She needs people to know her name.
AJ Larson is a local Valley artist. His medium, usually tattoo ink, but this weekend he chose paint and a water tower on San Carlos Apache tribal land.
The nature of the case is what really compelled me.
AJ, 2 of his friends, and the larger community coming together to create a mural honoring Emily Pike. The 14-year-old was found on Valentine's Day dismembered off the US 60 northeast of Globe.
I think it overwhelmed me with emotion, anger, sadness, and just me being an artist, I have only one outlet to express that, and that's through art.
Without a plan, AJ says he dove into the mural, learning along the way about Emily and her tribe. Hundreds of people coming to place their own handprint in red, Emily's family even coming to visit.
Out of the other projects I've done, this is the most powerful one. It showed me though that this mural wasn't just a painting, it was a part like medicine, and the people there, they needed that.
Vigils, walks, and even a day of action at the Arizona Capitol held in Emily's honor.
A candlelight vigil was also held for Emily Pike on Thursday, March 6, 2025, at Encounter Arizona Church in Mesa. A flower and stuffed animal-filled memorial where protesters had gathered before and after the vigil also formed at that intersection. Emily's two cousins, Jaden Palmer and Tyraya Steele, grew up with Emily on the San Carlos Apache Reservation. Jaden said that the three were always by each other's side and laughing. She said that Emily would call her every so often, and the last time they spoke was just weeks before she had disappeared. Emily's family is now working on getting her remains so they can bury her near her home in San Carlos. Well, thank you for listening to Emily's story today. This is terrifying, knowing that someone who is capable of such cruelty against an innocent teenager is still out there. It's also incredibly sad knowing that something so awful was able to happen to a teen who is supposed to be receiving support and protection in a group home. Hopefully, the monster who did this to Emily is caught very soon. So if you like true crime and you want to hear it from me, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button below. And turn on those notifications too, so you'll know when I upload a new video, which is at least 3 times every single week. Thanks for watching A Wicked World today. Until next time, take care guys. Bye. Thank you to all the patrons of A Wicked World. Now, there's even more of A Wicked World on Patreon, so check it out on patreon.com/awickedworld, or use the Patreon app. You'll have access to exclusive videos each month and more. Any support truly helps to make sure the victims are never forgotten and to highlight the shortcomings of society associated with each case. Do you have a suggestion for a story you'd like to see me cover? If so, send me an email to awickedworldtruecrime@gmail.com.